Hello! Today we're going to study how to plot linear functions. And first of all, you have to understand, you have to be able to distinguish what a linear function is, especially when we compare with other functions that are not linear. So take into account that this is about linear functions, those functions in which the variables are just to the power of 1. For example, this one is a linear function. This one is a linear function. This other one, let's say 1/4 of x minus 3/7, it's also a linear function. I'm going to repeat. Both variables y and x are to the power of 1. Remember that when the exponent is 1, we don't put it, so that means that it's linear. An example of a function which is not linear. For example, if I place here, let's say, to the power of 2, then this is not a linear function. For example, if I place here to the power of 3, this is not a linear function either. Or for example, if I, let's say, put here another x, let's say to the power of 2, this is not a linear function. But what we are going to study today is how to plot these linear functions. So let's start. A very simple example would be something like this. Let's say that I have something like y equals 2x plus 3. And I need to plot this linear function. Well, because this is a linear function, you have to have very clear in your mind that these linear functions always results in straight lines, completely straight. So, because to graph a straight line, you need at least 2 points, that is 2 coordinates in the grid, in the Cartesian plane, then that is what we're going to do. What we do is that with the chart, we do x and we take y, and we need to get 2 points. The easiest way to get these 2 points is by making x 0 and 1. That's very simple. When we make x equals 0, we can find the corresponding value of y by replacing the value of x here in the equation. For example, if x equals 0, then y equals 2 times 0 plus 3. This is always going to be 0, so the answer is 3. When x equals 0, y equals 3. What about the other value? When x equals 1. So let's do it. If x equals 1, then y equals 2 times 1 plus 3. That's going to give me 2 plus 3, and that's going to give me 5. So when x equals 1, y equals 5. Then we have the 2 coordinates that we need so that we can do our plotting. So to do the plotting is very simple. Just give me a second so that we can have our grid. Of course, you're going to need a ruler to make these lines as good as I do here. So this is x, this is y. Very important you to label the axes. Very important also to use the appropriate scale. For example, I can use here 2, 4, 6. If the scale in the y-axis is 2 units, every 2 units, then it has to be the same for the y-axis. -2, -4, -6. It's completely wrong to put something like 2, 4, 6 and then here -1, -2. That would be terrible and the line would be completely bad. Well, it's very important you know that. So the scale here has to be the same as the one up. However, the scale in the x-axis can be different. Here we can put 1, 2, 3, 4, that is for every square that I have here, I can put 1 unit. But of course, the same scale that I use for the positive part of my x-axis has to be here. -1, -2, -3, -4. Very important that you know how to place these coordinates on the grid. So how do you do that? 0, 3, it's in x is 0 and then 3 units. 3 units is exactly in the middle between 2 and 4. So this is one of my points. The other, 1, 5. 1, 5 is 1 and then 5. 5 is exactly here between 4 and 6. That will be here. Because, as I said before, the minimum number of points that you need to do a line is 2, and that's what we have here. We're done to make our plotting. So, we can take a ruler and join these points like that. Please take into account that the line continues. Well, this is not kind of... Well, you can do it in your house, or in your class in a very, in better way because you have a ruler. But what I mean is that to do the plotting, you don't connect these 2 points and that's it. You connect the 2 points, but you stretch the line to mean that this is infinite. Very important you to put these arrows here, and very important you to label this is y equals 2x plus 3. As you see, it's very simple. Some people has asked me, okay, but what if I want to use another values? So what we do is that we can use another values and the result is going to be the same. In another example, I will show you how to do the plotting with other values. Well, practice, do the graphs, and you're going to see how easy this is. Bye-bye.